Lieutenant Colonel Adv is under cross-examination by counsel for accused number 1 and 2.
Yes, Mr. Mngmezulu.
May I proceed, madam?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So, Mr. Adv, I'll just pause from the questions that I asked you yesterday. I just want to commence by asking you the background of Section 218. Firstly, can you actually translate the word confession for me in Zulu? What does it mean?
Ukusho okwenzile ngesikhathi ucommita a crime.
It is to say what you did at the time of the commission of a crime.
Okay. All right. In this case, as I've said, I just want to draw you back to Section 218, subsection 1 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Are you familiar with that provision?
Yes, but not word to word.
Yebo ke u218 lona ongibuza ngaye ke ngiyamazi ke kodwa hayi ukuthi nje ngimazi ewonke noma ephelele igama ngegama.
Yeah, looking at the evidence that you gave to the court, that this is the fourth pointing out that you have ever conducted since you were appointed as a police officer. Is that correct?
It's correct.
Shilo ke ukuthi bese noma kuye kuyesine noma bezu4 ezinye ebese ngizenzile ke i-pointing out ngaphambi kwalena.
Can you please go back to the paragraph in the pro forma where you said you were requested by Colonel Gininda? Do you see that paragraph that deals with that?
Yes.
I think it's paragraph 2, if I'm not mistaken. Do you see that?
It's 1.
It's paragraph 1.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for the correction. So in that paragraph, you mentioned that you were telephoned by Colonel Gininda to conduct an investigation regarding the pointing out.
Yes, my lord.
Yebo ke lana kubhaliwe ukuthi ke ngafonela ke yena uKenneth Gininda ukuthi ngilekeleleke ngayo i-pointing out.
Did he specify, because according to the answers that you put here, he said you can assist me in my case. He did not specify actually what case was he referring to. Do you agree?
Yes.
Lana yebo kubhaliwe ukuthi wangicela ukuthi imlekelele ngecase yakhe akashongo ke noma anikeze imininingwane ukuthi yipi i-case.
Was it on purpose that it was omitted in your pro forma to conduct a case and does not specify what type of a case was it?
My lord, it's never intentional to hide information, but it is not correct that a person will tell you on what case does he want you to do pointing out, because he will then be discussing the merits of the case.
Akukho ke okwenziwa ngenhloso noma ukuthi mhlambe ke kuyafihlwa ke noma kungavezwa ke noma kwenziwa lokho ngenhloso, kodwa ke angeke kube kahle ke noma kube right ukuthi manje uma esecela ukuthi umlekelele ecaseini ase ekunikeza nemininingwane ukuthi yipi case, ngoba manje ke uzobe esekhuluma noma esekutshela ke ngecase leyo.
Yes, but in relation to this provision of Section 218, there was a specific fact that you expected from the accused. There's a specific, or there's a fact that you were supposed to discover from the accused in terms of that provision. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yebo ke ngokwalo mthetho ke u218 kwakhona ke lokho okwakufanele ukuthi ke ngikutholeke noma ngikuzweke kuyena umsolwa.
And in terms of discovering that fact in relation to the information to be given by the accused, that means you had no prior knowledge. You had no prior knowledge of the facts in which you were to conduct a pointing out. Is that
That's
so?
correct, my lord.
Ukuthi ke ngathi ke noma ngaleso sikhathi noma uma esengitshelile ke ngalokho ke umsolwa kusho ukuthi umtshela ngento ebengingenayo ulwazi lwayo noma bengenayo imininingwane mayelana necala lelo.
So when going to a question where after you have explained to him, especially Section 35, about the reasons for his arrest, you indicated that he was arrested. He said he was arrested he was going to point out for the allegations of dealing in drugs. Is that so?
My lord, the accused never said he was going to point out on allegations of drugs.
Umsolwa akakaze asho ukuthi uzoyokhomba mayelana neinsolo zokushushumbisa noma ke zokusebenza ngeidakamizwa.
He said he was in custody on a drug dealing case.
Wathi uboshelwe icala leidakamizwa.
All right. To make a follow-up on that question, in your mind, because you said you did not have a prior knowledge regarding the facts upon which he was supposed to go and point out, were you under the impression that he was going to point out on the case that he was arrested for?
My lord, in my mind, it was the accused who was going to point out on whatever he wanted to point out.
Mina noma ke emqondweni wami ke kwakuwumsolwa owayezohamba ayokhomba noma yini leyo yena awayifuna noma efisa ukuthi ayoyikhomba.
May I approach the
Yes.
state, my lord? Thank you, madam. So about the case of Senzo Meyiwa, how did you come about to know about his death?
I came up to know about his death on television.
Ukwazi kwami ke mayelana nokushona kwakhe usenze Meyiwa ngakwazi lokho ke ngokubona ke ku-TV.
So you had a knowledge in terms of before the accused were arrested, that there were other people that were arrested before the accused in relation to that matter. Is that correct?
That's correct, my lord.
Ngokuthi ke kwakukhona ke nabanye abantu ababeboshiwe ke ngaphambilini ke ukuthi baboshwe bona ke nalokho ke ngakwazi.
If it came to your attention on the 5th of June 2020 that the pointing out that you had to conduct related to the death of Senzo Meyiwa, did that not conflict with the information that you expected from accused number one to give you prior to the pointing out?
My lord, it did not conflict with the information that I had, because I had very little knowledge regarding the in-depth investigation of Senzo Meyiwa's case.
Ukuthi ke pointing out leyo ke yayimayela ke naloke idaba lokushona kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa angeke ngithi ke kwakubuza nake noma kwakushayisana naloko mina ke enganginako noma ulwazi enganginalo ngoba ke ulwazi enganginalo mayelana nokushona kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa laluncane kakhulu.
Are you aware that as per the requirement of section 218, as the accused person, as you said, he voluntarily and freely gave you the information relating to the said matter? Was it not a supplementary information from what you had prior?
My Lord, the information that I got from the accused was never a supplementary information because I did not have any in-depth information regarding the case. And I never formed part of the investigation of them.
Ulwazi ke awanginika lona ke noma angalithola kuyena ke umsolwa bangasikona ke ukwengeza kulokho ke enganginako ngoba ngangingenalo ke ulwazi olujulile ke mayela ke nalo icala noma ukushona kwakhe uSenzo ngoba angikaze beyingxenye yethimba eliphenyayo.
All right. Now, upon your arrival at Albertine Police Station, you gave the reason that they did not want to account for the fear of the escape. Do you still remember saying that?
That's true, my Lord.
Shilo ke ngiyakhumbula ngikusho ke ukuthi babe Albertine ke babengafisile noma bengafuni ukuthi kufanele ukuthi baphenduleke mayela nokubaleka kwakhe noma ukuthi ke angabaleka.
Did you buy that reason? Did you actually accede to that reason to be the real reason?
Yes, my Lord. Hence, I went and signed for the accused in the registers.
Kwakulokho ke kwaba imbangela ke yokuthi noma ingakho ke ngahamba ke mina ngaya kuyona iregister leyo kwaba yimina umuntu osayindayo noma umsayindelayo umsolo.
We're talking about the accused who intended to point out freely and voluntarily. Do you think of any reason why they had a reason to believe that he was going to escape? On the other hand, the accused is the one who volunteered to the pointing out. Is that not a contrast?
My Lord, it is not a contrast. The members that had doubts and feared about an escape were the people of Albertine SAPS, who were then in custody of the accused at that time.
Akusukuthi ke kunokushayisana noma kunokubuzana ke ukuthi umsolwa kwemihlangothi uyena umuntu wayefisa noma efunaka ukuthi kuphuma kuyena ukuthi ayokhomba nokuthi manje lapha bonaka amaphoyisa ayesaba ke ukuthi uma kungenzeka ukuthi ke eqe noma ke abaleke. Lokho ke akusikona ke ukubuzana nokushayisana abantu ababesaba ke babesaba lokho yilaba abase Albertine Police Station ekwakuyibona awaye ngaphansi kwabo.
All right. Let's get back now to the explanation of rights. You indicated yesterday that you explained the rights in terms of section 35 of the Constitution, the right to remain silent, the consequences of not remaining silent, right to legal representation, right to apply for legal aid in the event it does not have money. And I did not receive a response in relation to or after the accused said, yes, I understand. I'm still curious to know why there was no follow-up after he said he does understand. Because it's not clear whether he understood the rights as explained and he intended to either to opt for a legal representation or to speak without, or to waive the right to remain silent.
My Lord, the questions do not only stop at yes, I understand. It continues where I warn the accused, and it still goes, do you still further wish to point out the sins, where he then says, I still want to point out and give a statement. So it's not only based on, stops on yes, I understand.
Lemibuzo ke ayiphelile kuphela ke ethi nje ingabe uyezwa yini iyaqhubeka ke ngoba ke ila sengimxwayisa khona ke ukuthi uyabuzwa ke ukuthi usafisa yini noma kuseyisifiso sakho yini sokuthi uqhubekeke uyokhomba aphenduleke athi ngisafisa noma ngisafuna ukuthi ngiyokhomba futhi nginikeze ngestatement.
All right, let's get into the right to have legal representation. What was his response in terms of that?
He was informed of all the rights and he chose to continue. That is the response.
Watshelwa ke ngawo onke amalungelo wakhetha ke ukuthi aqhubeke ileyo impendulo.
Now say, let me be specific in terms of the right to legal representation. I think if it was an option that was exercised by the accused, that should have been in your pro forma. As an answer, you got directly from the accused.
My Lord, it couldn't be. The accused was informed of all his rights, and the accused still preferred to continue.
Lana ke umsolwa uma uthi ke bakufanele lelo lungelo ke uma kokuthi isinqumo sakho kwakuwukuthi ke aqhubeke ngaphandle komeli kwakumele ngikubhale phansi lokho noma khona kule form bangeke ke ngoba ke umsolwa watshelwa ke ngawo onke amalungelo akhe waseqhubeka ke yena ke noma ke ethi uyoqhubeka.
But I'm specific about the right to a legal representative. I understand you talk about all the rights because he was supposed to exercise his right, his constitutional right. Either he wants to go in person or to be represented. That's the right that I'm concerned about at the moment.
My Lord, my answer is that all these rights, it does not mean the legal one is sacrosanct or bigger than the other one. All the rights were explained to him and he chose to continue. Going specific on a specific right means that then we undermine the rest of the other rights.
Lamalungelo awawatshelwa noma awanikezwa onke akusho ukuthi ke leli lungelo wena ke ugxile kulona ke lommeli lingaphezulu ke kwamanye uma manje ke sesizokhetha ke elilodwa kusho ukuthi amanye lana ke ama rights wona ke awabalulekile.
So are you telling the court that the rights that are mentioned in this pro forma are the only rights that are enshrined under Section 35 of the Bill of Rights? Is that what you are telling the court?
No, my Lord.
Angisho ukuthi lana abhalwe lana ke iwona kuphela ama rights akhona ke ngaphansi kwakhe uSection 35.
In explanation of the rights at that moment, did you explain to him that he has a right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty? Did you explain that right?
I explained the rights that were in the pro forma, my Lord.
Yabuza kumele ukuthi ke ilungelo lokuthi ke ubonwa ke noma ke uzobonwa ke umsulwa kuze kube yisikhathi la khona ke ulahlwa icala noma amacala enkantolo bendithi ke mina ngichaze amalungelo la akhona ke kwiform.
So at the time you were explaining these rights, I'm glad you considered that particular right you never explained to the accused. Let me proceed by saying, when you explain these rights to the accused, were you aware as to when was he arrested?
No, my Lord.
Did you ask the accused as to when was he arrested?
No, my Lord, I did not ask him when was he arrested.
Futhi ke angimbuzanga ke nokuthi waboshwa nini.
Why not? Why didn't you ask what was he arrested for?
Because he informed me that he knew what he was arrested for, and he was informed of the reasons of his arrest, and that he was currently in custody on a different matter, which is dealing in drugs.
Ngoba ke yena ke wangitshela ke ukuthi uboshelweni, wangitshela ke nokuthi ke bamazisa ke noma babemtshelile ke ukuthi kungani eboshiwe nokuthi ke futhi ke kwaku linye icala ke leyidakamizwa.
So if he said or he informed you that he was arrested or is in custody for the charges of dealing in drugs, so you never inquire as to the reason before he actually waived all these rights. Did you inform him, or did he inform you that he was going to make a pointing out in relation to the present allegations against him? Did he inform you? Other than the answer that you got from him that he was in custody for another offense, which is dealing in drugs. But did he, as a person who made a statement or a pointing out, or a person who intended to make a pointing out freely and voluntarily, he should have freely and voluntarily informed you that I want to go and point out at the crime scene as per the allegations.
My Lord, when I asked the accused, his answer was, yes, I was informed. Because the question was, the said was asked whether he was informed of the reason for his arrest as prescribed by Section 35 of the Constitution. And he said, yes, I was informed. I took it that he knows what he says he was informed on.
Lana ke umbuzo uthi wase ebuzwa ke ukuthi watshelwa yini mayelana nesizathu sokuboshwa kwakhe nanjengoba kukhona ke kuyena usection 35 wasephendula ke wathi yebo ngatshelwa lokho ke kwase kuthi kumina ke ukuthi ke wayekwazi ke lokho athi wakutshelwa.
My question is, did he inform you that he was going to point out freely and voluntarily without being induced by anyone to a crime scene in relation to this matter? Did he inform you?
Yes, hence there is a statement that continues after the performance.
Yebo wangitshela ke ukuthi la azoyokhomba khona ke into leyo ayizenzelayo noma ephuma kuyena ke ingakho ke manje sekune statement ke manje emuva kokuthi ke iperforma lena iqediwe.
All right. At the police station, you mentioned that there were Metropolis officers.
Yes, my Lord.
Ngishilo ukuthi kwakunama Metropolis khona ke police station.
Were they escorting the accused according to the information you got?
Yes, my Lord, it seems so.
Yebo ke kuke kanjalo ukuthi bona babe escort noma ke babe hamba naye ke umsola.
Have you inquired from the accused if he was familiar with Albertine and the directions towards the place where he was going to point out?
Yes, my Lord, I did.
Ngambuza umsola ukuthi ke iAlbertine lena uyayazi kanye futhi nendawo lena ke ayizohamba ayokhomba yona.
So what was the response to him after he made such an inquiry?
He said he is not familiar with Albertine. If we can take him to the entrance of Fosloras, he will show us.
Awasitshela kona ke ukuthi iAlbertine yena akayazi. Kodwa ke uma singamthatha nje simiseke noma siyomfikeza uyofika lapho kungenwa khona noma ke entrance yase Fosloras ila azositshengisa khona.
Do you know why he was kept in Albertine police station prior to the prior to going to Phosphorus, or
No, my lord.
we don't have a reason why he was kept at Albertine police station?
My lord, the only reason would have been he is transferred from a specific station to Albertine.
Kuphela kwesizathu ke sokuthi kwangabe kungani ke agcinwe eAlbertine ukuthi ke asithi nje ususwe kwesinye isiteshi wabese ethathwa ke esiwa khona eAlbertine.
But you can confirm before this honorable court that it was not his instruction that he can take the person who's conducting the pointing out from Albertine police station to the crime scene.
That's true, my lord. Hence, I gave what he said to me.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi ke akazasho ukuthi yena ke angasithatha ke usuke eAlbertine kuye la ufuna ukhomba khona ingakho ke ngishiqeda ukusho manje lokho awakusho yena.
So you further not in dispute of the fact that from Villaria to Phosphorus, where he was assaulted, and back to Albertine. You cannot dispute that.
That's true, my lord. I cannot dispute what I did not see. And I cannot confirm what I did not see.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi lokho kushoyo ukuthi wasuswe Villaria waya ke ePhosphorus la athi washaya khona wasebuyele eAlbertine ukuthi ke angeke ngiyiphikise into engazange ngiyibone, ngeke ngivume futhi into engazange ngiyibone.
Okay, now we are leaving Albertine police station. At what time did we depart from Albertine police station?
My lord, we left Albertine police station at it is here on the form. It is at, I think, around 1300 hours or just before 1300 hours.
Lama ngesikhathi esaphuma ngaso ke noma esasuka ngaso khona eAlbertine ke u1300 noma ke u1 noma nje ngaphambi kwakhe ukuthi kushaye u1.
Where's that time you're referring to in your proforma? In which paragraph are you referring?
It's not. I thought I wrote it, but there is no space for it. But it was before one.
Ngicabanga ukuthi ngeke ngisibhale leso sikhathi kodwa ke ngisibona space kodwa ke kwakungaphambi ko1.
So I don't think I'll consider that answer as the answer that I expected from you, the one who was assigned to conduct the pointing out. You should have specified as to the time in which you departed from Albertine, because you specified the time you returned to Albertine. You said you returned at 1:30.
That's true, my lord. I would have specified it if it was here if there was a space for it here on the form.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi ngishilo ukuthi sabuya ke ngo1:30 uma bekuthi ispace besikhona ke sokuchaza isikhathi esahamba ngaso ngabe ke lokho kukhona la.
I did not intentionally not mention it to hide anything.
Angikwenzanga lokho ke ngenhloso ukuthi ke kube khona ke engikufihlayo ukuthi ke leso sikhathi leso singabi khona la.
Was it not imperative? I understand you make an ill excuse of a space on the proforma. Was it not imperative for you to record the time of departure? Because it was imperative for you to take photos of the odometer of the motor vehicle that transported the accused person. I find no reason for you not to specify the time in which you departed.
My lord, I'm being asked a question which is clear. The kilometer reading of the vehicle appears on the form, hence it was written. Time of departure does not appear on the form, and the comparison thereof I don't understand.
Lana ngibuzwa ke umbuzo ucacile ukuthi ke i-reading ke noma ama kilometer emoto kona kukhona noma ispace sakho lokho kukhona lana Ukuthi ke manje kuqhathaniswe lokho nesikhathi sokuhamba ngoba la isikhathi sokuhamba asikho space ayikho indawo ebhalwe lokho la kwiform.
All right. How were we going to determine as to how long did it take you to conduct the pointing out? If there's no record of the departure.
The time of how long did I do the pointing out can be determined by me giving evidence and explaining to this court.
Isikhathi ke sokuthi noma ukuthi bathatha isikhathi esingakanani ukuthi ke lokho akhomba noma le pointing out lokho ke kungathi kutholeke ngokuthi mina ke nginikeze ngobufakazi la enkantolo.
The reason for this question is to demonstrate a lot of mistakes that you have made during the investigating process. You've made a lot of mistakes in this pro forma.
I do not agree, madam.
Angivumi ke uma uthi ngenze amaphutha amaningi kule form.
All right. I'll firstly highlight the first mistake you've made. The first mistake, you said you received the information on the 5th of May, on the 4th of May. That was the first mistake, and you wanted to correct it under oath because you did not see that mistake prior to the disclosure of this form to the defense. That's the first mistake you've made. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. It's a human error.
Ngiyavuma ukuthi ke umuntu ngalenza ke iphutha uma uthi ke ngenza iphutha lokuqala ukuthi ngibhale mina i4 zika May.
I want to remind you that we are here about the life of a person. The life of a person who has been deprived of his freedom. So if you talk about human error, we understand human error. Is it a human error again not to record the time of departure? Is also a human error.
My lord, it's not necessarily a human error not to record the time of departure. It is not in the form. I worked according to the form of the pointing.
Mina ngisebenze ngayo iform lena isikhathi lesi sokuthi sisuke nganini eAlbertine ayikho indawo yakho lokho la.
Okay, I'll move on. I'll leave that for argument. But I can see you are evasive. You are trying to avoid my question. Let's move on. Let's look at the time you came back. You recorded 1:30. Is that correct?
That's true, my lord.
Isikhathi sokubuya ke engisibhalile la 1:30.
All right. Give us a practical picture. You are departing from Albertine Police Station. At the moment you are departing, after you have explained the rights, you come back 1:30. Then you mentioned that you completed the form. It was 14:20. Do you
Yes.
agree?
I agree, my lord.
Yebo ke masibuya ngishilo noma ngibhalile la ukuthi ke kwakuse manje u20:02 noma u14:20 uma sekadela ke iform kathi sesibuyile.
So to complete this form took you more or less 50 minutes according to time frame. 1:30 you came back, you attended to complete the form 2:20, or more or less 50 minutes. Is that correct?
That is not to complete the form that took 50 minutes. There was an interview and a statement obtained from the accused. That whole thing encompasses the 2:20 time.
Akusilona iqiniso ukuthi ke manje uqedela ke iform lokho kwathatha u50 minutes. Kwaba manje ke ne-interview ke nayo nokuthatha ke lesi statement bese kuyena umsolo. Konke ke lokho ukuhlanganisa ke ikona ke okwayofika ke kulesa sikhathi sika 2:20.
As you were going to the place or to the crime scene, were you taking some notes from what the accused was saying when you conveying him to the crime scene? Were you jotting some notes, making some entries?
There was nothing that he said on our way to the crime scene.
Endleleni ke eyakhona lapho ke kwindawo yesigameko akukho awakusho ke noma awayekusho umsolo.
So are you telling the court that within that 50 minutes, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the statement of the accused consists of 2 pages, and the pro forma consists of 5 pages, 3 pages of the statement. Yeah, 2 pages. So more or less 8 pages that you completed within a period of 50 minutes. Was that probable?
Yes.
Yebo ukuthi ke lama page awu-8 ngangwa kwenzeka noma kuthiwa into engenzeka ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi leso sika 50 minutes ungaqeda.
So during the pointing out, I don't want to get into the merits of the pointing out, but can you assure the court that there was no investigating officer present, physically present, during the pointing out?
Yes, I can assure the court.
Nganikezwa lenkantolo isiqinisekiso sokuthi ke ngalesi sikhathi ke ekhomba ke noma kule pointing out umphenyi wecala ke noma umseshi wayengekho.
Do you know Mr. Mahano? Sergeant Mahano, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the title
Yes.
or rank. Do you know him?
Yes.
Yebo ngiyamazi ke uSergeant Mohane.
What was his involvement during the pointing out? Was he present? He was not present?
The last time I saw him, he was at the police station when I gave him the forms.
Ugcina kwami ukumbona ke kwakuse police station kade ngimnikeza ke ama forms.
So in other words, he was not at the scene crime
Yes.
scene, sorry.
Yes.
Wayengekho ke lapha yana kule ndawo yesigameko.
That's not my instruction. My instruction is that Sergeant Mkhano was present when this pointing out took place, in the presence of more or less heavily armed TRT police unit.
That's not correct, my lord. I did not see Sergeant Mahano there. And
sorry.
the other thing that I need to clarify to the court is that the question was, during the pointing out, was the investigating officer there? I said no, because the investigating officer is Brigadier Gininda.
Lana ke umbuzo
So Brigadier Gininda was nowhere there.
Umbuzo ubuzile ukuthi umseshi noma umphenyi weqala wayekhona ke ngathi cha. Umphenyi weqala kwakuyi Brigadier Gininda yena ke wayengekho lapho.
There's evidence before this court that Mkhano was present when a confession was made in the presence of or in front of a magistrate for accused number 2. He was present at that time, but not inside according to the state witnesses. He was present. I just want to check his involvement in this, if he was not an investigating officer.
My lord, I wouldn't know what is Mkhano's participation in the investigation. I would only answer for what I did on the day of the pointing out, which is to hand over documents to him.
Angeke ngazi ke ukuthi ke umkhano ke yena ke kwakuyini ke emhlanganisa ke nophenyo kalelo cala engakusho ke mina ke yilokho mina nje engakwenza ngalelo langa le pointing out okwakumnikeza ama documents.
So do you also dispute that there were members of the TRT police officers or police unit?
During the pointing out, there wasn't any member of the TRT.
Ngesikhathi pointing out yenzeka lalingekho ilunga noma amalunga e-TRT.
Who was escorting you?
I was escorted by EMPD members.
Abantu ababengi-escorta amalunga ke e-EMPD.
How many were they?
They were in 2 cars, my lord. I think there were 4.
Babehamba ngeyimoto ezimbili ngicabanga ukuthi babe u4.
Did you not observe or see a minibus that was transporting the members of the TRT?
No, my lord, I didn't.
Angizange ngiboneke ibhasi ehamba ke laba be-TRT.
So these members of the EMPD, were they also present during the pointing out?
My lord, they kept a distance away from the pointing out.
Laba ke be-EMPD bona ke babeqhelileke
But they were present in the distance.
babe khona ke lapho i-pointing out yenzeka kodwa ke babeqhelile.
May I consult, ma'am?
Yes.
So, in terms of your experience in relation to the pointing out, you said, as you have said, this was the 4th one. So you did not have necessary skill and experience and proficiency to conduct a pointing out.
As you could please, my lord, I don't understand what is the basis for that question. The witness has put his background on record, how he worked at, amongst others, murder and robbery in the vow. Can we just get clarity as to what is the basis for that question?
Yes.
The basis for this question is
What is the basis?
arises from the mistakes that he has made and the last statement that he has made in which the witness indicated that he has, to the best of his knowledge, satisfied himself that the information is incorrect. I believe it's in the last page of the pro forma. May I proceed, my lord?
Where do you see that? You say there's what on this pro forma?
There's an indication from at the last page.
Indication.
Yes,
Last page.
last
Pro forma.
page. It starts with after the conclusion of, my lord.
Yeah. So where
So
is that?
you-
Where is that indication? Because I see after the conclusion, pointing of the scenes and of points, the notes are read to the person who pointed out, and they are interpreted once again. The following questions are now put to the person who pointed out the scenes and or points. 1. Are you satisfied that which you pointed out and said has been noted down correctly? Answer, yes. 2. Are you satisfied that which you pointed out is your own version of what took place? Answer, yes. Do you have any complaints about the manner in which I conducted the pointing out? Answer, no. Are you satisfied with the interpreter? It's not applicable because there was no interpreter. Where is the indication, sir?
May I withdraw that, my lord?
Yes.
Because the basis for this question, let me just rephrase it in this manner. After the completion of this pro forma, did you recheck every information that is contained there?
I went through the pro forma, hence I immediately left it.
Ikhofama lena ngayibheka-ke ithi mase ngiyiqedile-ke ingakho-ke ngayishiya.
All right. May I just put the version of the accused before I conclude my cross-examination? My instruction is that the accused person was arrested on the 30th of May 2020 at Tembisa. During the arrest, he was assaulted. He was then taken to Vosloorus, next to a municipality area, where he was further assaulted, choked with a plastic bag. And
Sorry, just for my clarification.
yes,
Is it in a room? Is it in the open field? Is it in a police station? Where? A residential area, because you say he was again assaulted.
he was assaulted
Where?
at Forest.
If you want to disclose it. If you don't want to, fine. It's just
My-
for my clarification.
I'll clarify that, my lord, because it's my version. It's the version of the accused. On the day he was arrested, on the 30th of May 2020, he was assaulted by the police outside the house. Yeah. He was assaulted by the police in Tembisa at a place called Litabong. And he was then taken again to Vosloorus, to a place which he assumed or suspected to be a municipality area next to the court, where he was further assaulted.
My Lord, if I may take instructions in the meantime.
Yes.
Thereafter, he was transported to Albertine. And on the 30th, he was assaulted in the presence of Colonel Mboto, who took a confession from the accused. Can you comment on that?
You know, Mr. Mngmezulu, I want to be fair to you.
Yes.
You didn't cross-examine Mboto. The assertion which was put was never that he was assaulted in the presence of Colonel Mboto. The assertion was that when the accused entered Mboto's office, the assault stopped. And Mboto took out a completed pro forma and a completed statement and said to the accused, why did you sign this? Because these people are going to keep on assaulting you. That was what was put, not inside the office.
May I confirm that?
But I don't want us to.
My Lord, I beg leave to adjourn for a few minutes, my Lord. I just want to take proper instruction relating to this, because I'm so sorry, because the version that I'm putting to the accused, to the witness, I'm not privy to the version that was given or put.
I just told you what it was.
That's correct.
Yeah.
There's something that I need to correct before
Okay,
we
fine.
proceed.
How long?
10 minutes.
What's your time then?
20 minutes. It's 5 to 11, man.
20 minutes, okay.
Instruction on- from them.